Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are an old friend, then welcome back. So, there's been a little drama on the channel. For those who come and, watch the videos regularly, you may have picked up on it. And so, I just want to take the opportunity, to turn it around and use it as a learning moment, right? Yeah, there's always going to be, unhealed people in your life, or maybe not even particularly in your life, but in the lives of people around you. Heck, it can happen when you just go to get your coffee at the Starbucks, right? Drama and drama starters, right? The unhealed people who don't know how to get fulfillment from within, so they seek it from outside sources, and when they can't, they create it. So, we're going to use this as a learning opportunity and to say that, they're everywhere. You're never going to ever be able to escape them because, like I said, they're everywhere. They're at the grocery store. They're, on the road. They're at your school or, at your kid's school or at work, in your own family or in the family of those that you loved or once loved. And, it's just inescapable until the point that, everyone starts to realize that there is a better way, that they do this subconsciously, but that they can consciously make the decision to change and grow and be better and more healthy, respectful, and loving towards themselves and others. So anyway, I think I'm going to start with this deck. And I do not know who this reading is for, but you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to clear the energy with some sage and Palo Santo, because I definitely don't want the energies of some of our, most recent readings to come back around. Ouch. We want, I'm making a mess. We want to clear the space and energy. We only want to let in that which is good, that which is true, honest, and for our highest good. We are seeking truth and clarity, love and healing. And we ask that our angels, ancestors, ascended masters, all good energies and entities are welcome to come and help us on this journey, to give us the message that we need to hear today. Please and thank you. And we rebuke and reject any trickster energies, drama starters, demonic, negative things and or people. All right. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Sometimes I have a hard time getting these things to light in here, and I've never had that problem before, but like lately it happens all the time. That was a pretty good one though. So, where there's smoke, there's fire. And, the Bible says there'll be, trial by fire, trials and tribulations. Who knows what that means, right? Guess that's what we're here to find out. Of course, the whole point and the way that the Bible is written is all about leaving it up to interpretation, right? That mystical metaphorical, mystery, it's a mystery that was made to be solved. The greatest mystery. All right, let's see. What do we have? Oh yeah, I was so excited. I did not get woken up in the middle of the night. I got woken up at still early, but not an ungodly hour. So I actually got at least 5 hours of sleep, so that was good. 5 straight hours. Mountain Road, you are on the road to success. All right. Lily, spiritual love. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love that. I love that. We've been talking a lot about, like loving yourself and healing. And that's, what spiritual love is all about, right? Also, if you are interested in the biblical connections, you can look up the Lily of the Valley. And, maybe there's a message there for you from Spirit. So go ahead and take a look. Boot, increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. I mean, I could be wrong here, but I'm kind of getting from the boot that like someone's getting the boot. Someone's getting kicked out, removed from the energy. Maybe because they refused to put in the effort and they just didn't really care about achieving goals. They were happy to, remain karmic, I guess you could say. I just realized I left something outside. I'll be right back. Oh, okay, I'm getting it now. Okay, so it's like someone's on the road to success and someone else is getting the boot on the way out, right? And what's in the middle is spiritual love. So these are the people who were willing to put in the work and effort, right, to get to that place of spiritual love and understanding, right? These are the people who are getting the boot. These are the people who are not on the road. They're being kicked off, if they ever were, because they refused to put in the effort that it takes to get to this point of spiritual love. Okay, I get it. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. 4 years ago, I went through a pretty big spiritual awakening. It was pretty scary. I didn't really know or understand what was going on. Everybody thought I was going crazy, and they literally put me in the nut house because of it. People were stealing my shit, using it to try to control and manipulate me, to harm me in some way, to laugh at me, to turn people against me, because they just didn't understand, right? They didn't understand what I had already learned and understood and what God was trying to get me to go deeper into, right? Well, it takes a lot of, inner peace, self-love, strength, determination, effort to be able to continue on what is your right path, especially in the face of that kind of adversity. I mean, these people bullied me, whether they realized that that's what they were doing or not. They bullied me for believing in something which they did not believe or understand. And they tried to force me into submission, or back in the box, I guess you could say. Because I don't know. Maybe they were scared. Maybe they didn't want me to be better than them, because I understood things on a higher level, and they didn't want me to get to a point of being higher or better than them in their eyes. But, we all have the opportunity. Really, and it starts with little everyday things, right? Chances, opportunities where Spirit speaks. And do we listen or do we not? Because it really does start out with something as simple as, having the thought, I think instead of going left like I usually do when I come out of the house today, I think I'll go right. I just have this feeling that I want to go right. And so you go right, and you end up coming across a lost child, right? Scared, alone, crying, lost their mother, parent, teacher, whatever the case is, right? And you say, don't worry, I'll help you, and you either, call the cops or, look around and help them, find whoever they're looking for. But you get them where they need to go, right? And you took that child's pain and fear away. You created a moment, a ripple effect moment of positivity, just by taking away, the negative thoughts and feelings and situation. And had you not come along, that situation could have gone very differently, but because you did, it changed everything. Maybe if you hadn't come along, something really bad was going to happen to that kid. But because you chose to listen to Spirit, and it could be as simple as just, I think I'm going to buy the Scott toilet paper over the Charmin toilet paper today, right? It could be any little thing. It's just about learning to hear the voice of God, right? Learning to recognize Spirit and act on it and take action. Now, you have to be careful because, there's demons there as well. So you have to be able to balance, with your own thoughts and conscience about whatever you're being told to do. Because obviously, if you're being told to, drink the Kool-Aid, right? Mass suicide kind of thing. That's not God, right? So you have to be able to use your own discernment and, not be led astray. But that's also why it's kind of difficult for many reasons. Anyway, the point is, when you start listening and responding basically to Spirit, every time you do, there's a level up. And like I said, it starts small, and then the more reliable you become, for Spirit, the bigger the tasks. And so for many, they're so obedient and good at discerning that they end up at a really high level. And that's when shit gets really fucking crazy. Anyway, tell me about Mountain Road, please. Because then you get to the kind of level that I was at a few years ago, where you end up justice, unfairness, lack of accountability, guilt, dishonesty, and punishment, right? You know, you end up at the point where I was at, where, you know, like, you're at this point of having to choose between, you know, saying that God isn't real, or acting as if God isn't real when you know that God is real, and that, you know, something profound is happening to you and you cannot deny it, yet everyone around you wants you to, and is almost punishing you. Punishment. Interesting. For not denouncing that, right? For not denouncing your faith and your belief. And sadly, you know, it gets to a point where these people don't even realize that that's what they're doing. And so then it becomes even more difficult, because now you're having to battle, you know, other people's demons and delusions, and they think you're the crazy one. Tell me about Lily. Okay. I'm just getting like loving, like an innocent kind of love, like a childhood, like a child loves, right? The love of a child, childlike love, to love people like you love your children, you know, with grace and mercy and understanding and empathy and compassion and patience, that kind of thing. Tell me about the boot. We have the Ace of Pentacles for the boot. I kind of feel like these should be like that. Where the Ace of Pentacles goes under the road to success, mountain road, right? And the boot, the punishment, the unfairness, lack of accountability goes to the boot. The side that's getting kicked out for lack of effort. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, you know, sometimes they come in out of order or whatever. Or maybe that one came in at that moment, so it could hit right at that punishment, right? Okay. Tell me more about Mountain Road. Right, and so, okay, so that was 4 years ago. Now, I'm even further along on that, you know, journey, path, awakening, whatever you want to call it. And imagine if it was that difficult 4 years ago, you know, just how much more difficult it is now. Because it's definitely like a swimming against the tide kind of thing. And it's definitely an endurance marathon kind of thing, because, like I said, it's been 4 years. And I've had to stand on my faith that whole time, you know, while people mocked me, while people ridiculed me, while people tried to punish me, tried to force me to, you know, denounce my faith and what I believed and knew to be true, because it didn't align with what they, you know, wanted or believed. Okay, so we have strength. Yeah, like I said, a lot of strength and endurance, and yeah, I mean, you gotta have passion too to go down that road, that mountain road, right? It's like the road less traveled, the hard road. 9 of Swords for the boot. Anxiety, worry, fear, depression, nightmares, insomnia, hopelessness, trauma, and despair. And the 4 of Pentacles for spiritual love. So, yeah, you know, the spiritual love, the stable kind, the kind that the discerning love, right? The kind that you don't necessarily give out to everyone, right? The kind of love that you reserve for yourself and those closest to you, without, without completely discarding everyone else, but just learning and knowing and discerning like who to give your love to and who to hold back from, and like how deep to love this person or that person based off of, do they deserve it? Like your kids, absolutely, but maybe other people not so much. Give me one more for Mountain Road, please. Yeah. Knight of Cups. Following your heart. That's the road less traveled. It's following your truth. Following your heart. Following what makes you happy. Or, maybe you don't even realize that that's what you're doing until you get to the end and you realize you're happy because you did take that hard road. You did the hard work, you had the strength, the passion, the courage, and, and you get rewarded in the end. Give me one for spiritual love. One more for spiritual love. Yeah. Okay, so we got two here. We got the Six of Swords and the World. So it's like learning to leave the world behind, right? Learning to be in the world, not of the world. To love, like a love that is otherworldly, right? A calm, loving love, not that devilish, lustful, codependent, toxic kind of love. Real love, true love, spiritual love. Give me one more for the boot, please. Last one for the boot, please. Yeah. Knight of Swords reverse. Restless, unfocused, burnout, impulsive, no direction, unpredictable, and disregard for the consequences, right? These are the people that they're not going to get there, because they don't understand the need for accountability and sensibility and how to take the time to stop and listen and tune in to the world, the earth, the frequency of something deeper, something bigger, something, a higher power. These are the kind of people that have big egos, because it's hard for them to even believe that a higher power exists because they like to think themselves pretty high, mighty, and powerful, when in reality they're not, because they cannot accept and acknowledge that there is actually something bigger and better out there than themselves. So right there, just limits their growth and potential right off the gate, right off the bat, right out of the gate. It really does take a lot of strength and courage to stand on what you believe when people are literally laughing in your face, calling you mentally ill, using these things, these moments, to try to take your children away from you, which is what happened to me, luckily. they were unsuccessful, but, you know, they tried. And most of the people involved in that situation did it simply because, you know, they just wanted to have what was mine. They wanted to hurt me, to take what they knew meant most in the world to me. Because they could not understand me. And they could not control or manipulate me. We have 10 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So, you know, there's a great reward at the top of that mountain for those who could get there. God rewards the efforts and the faithfulness of those who choose to take the road less traveled. I'm going to get a Spirit Junkie card, and then I think maybe we'll call it a day. I am kind and loving toward others while creating clear boundaries that protect my good feeling emotions. Yeah. That's part of the hard mountain road as well, is, you know, because in order to continue to go up that mountain, you have to keep your, you know, your vibration, so to speak, at a certain level. And that is probably one of the most difficult parts, because you have to be able to maintain that level of frequency with all of those toxic, negative people around you. And that can be quite tricky. That's why I think a lot of people end up, you know, in hermit mode, like isolation, because it's easier to maintain that level of vibration with minimal, you know, outside interference. The universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. Yeah. So, you know, it's impossible to maintain that level of vibration and frequency like constantly. It's okay if you fall, you know what I mean? You just have to like get back up and get back on the horse, which is, you know, why a lot of these boot people don't make it, because, you know, they just fall back into old patterns, back into old habits. You know, they get into that lower vibration, and then they just stay there. You know, it's important to like come back around, ground yourself, realign with love, you know, constantly. I mean, some people are able to recognize when they feel themselves slipping and just kind of, I don't know, take a moment to like meditate or whatever. And that does the trick for them. And other people just automatically do it like every day. And it just depends on what works for you, you know. My greatest spiritual gifts don't come through force. They come through freedom. Yeah. I think what a lot of people don't understand is that this spiritual love is freedom. Learning to love yourself and others, and allowing others to be who they are, and, you know, and trying to get them to meet you where you're at rather than come down to their level and, you know, slink down to their lower vibration. You raise them up to yours, you know, by standing and maintaining your own freedom, but also, and this is difficult as well, to allow them their own. Because some people get into this place and then they get overtaken by, you know, the power of it, and feel that, like, you know, this is where a lot of like the religious kind of, you know, authority kind of comes in, where they feel that they then have the authority over someone else, and they can condemn someone else, and that their way is the only way, and that's, oppression, not freedom. So it's like understanding that you should be free to love the way you want to love, to worship God however you want to worship God, to believe whatever you want to believe, as long as you're not harming anybody else, right? As long as you are not imposing on the freedom of someone else. Let me see. Maybe one or two of these oracle cards. Yeah. See, into me I see, and I added so, right? And I love that the number 8 is there, because we're still in the month of August, which is pretty powerful. Like infinity. Also, eighth day, the 8th day. There's 7 days in a week, right? God created the earth in 7 days, or in 6 days. On the 7th day he rested. Most people don't understand or know that the 8th day is it's like the new beginning. It's the next step. It's the infinity that comes after, right? And when we learn to sow seeds of love into ourselves, and see the love in ourselves and the worthiness of love in ourselves, and that everyone is worthy of love, and that we learn where to sow our seeds of love, that's what creates a better world, a better place. Anything else? Yeah, here and now. It's important to remember, to learn, right? The past is the past, and the future is the future, and it's important for you to live in the here and now, because that's where you are. And that's honestly where the change is made. Because if you want to create a better future, you have to leave the past in the past. Maybe learn from it, but, put it behind you. Allow it to be behind you. If you have a negative past, you don't have to stay in that negativity. You can choose to learn and grow and change and leave it in the past, and, move on and up to bigger and better things. And by doing that, in the here and now, you change and create a better, brighter future and path for yourself. Anything else? I know there's a lot more of these spiritual messages coming out right now, and I'm not even going to apologize for it, because if you're just looking for that drama, from other tarot readers' channels where it's all karmic this and karmic that, go with love. I love you. I respect your desires and freedom to choose. And that's perfectly okay. But we're here, me and my collective, we're here for something bigger, something better, something deeper. And yeah, sometimes it's fun to get the spiritual gossip, but this is the real goal here. The spiritual growth, the spiritual love. Right? The mending of hearts, the mending of time, the mending of humanity, the mending of our minds. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this spiritual stuff is all that's ever going to come out of this channel ever again, but I am saying that that's what Spirit is guiding us towards right now. So, you know, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the video and or the channel. And I hope you'll come back and I'll get to see you again.